A year had passed since our divorce, yet some nights I still found myself staring at the ceiling, wondering how everything had gone so wrong. Sarah and I had built a life together for 7 years, full of plans, laughter, and shared dreams. But slowly, cracks appeared. We stopped talking about our future, and arguments became more frequent than smiles. When she finally asked for a divorce, I didn't fight it. Maybe I was too tired, or maybe I thought she'd change her mind once she realized what she was losing. She didn't. After the divorce, I tried to move on. I focused on my work, spent more time with friends, and even took up hiking to clear my mind. I avoided any reminders of Sarah. No pictures, no old messages, nothing. She had moved to another city, and for the first time in years, our lives no longer intersected. I thought that was how it would stay forever. One rainy evening, as I was leaving the office, my phone buzzed. When I saw her name on the screen, I froze. For a moment, I thought it was a mistake. I hadn't heard from Sarah since the day we signed the papers. Curiosity and confusion tangled in my chest as I hesitated before answering. "Hey, it's been a while," she said softly. Her voice still carried that calm tone I once found comforting. I replied with a polite, "Yeah, it has," unsure what else to say. After a few seconds of silence, she asked if we could meet for coffee. I almost declined, but something in her voice made me agree. Maybe I just wanted closure that never came. We met the next day at a quiet cafe near the park. Seeing her again was strange. She looked almost the same, though there was a tiredness in her eyes I hadn't seen before. We exchanged small talk about work and family, but beneath every word was a heavy silence filled with things we didn't say. After a few minutes, she took a deep breath and said, "I've been meaning to ask you something for a long time." My stomach tightened. She looked nervous, her fingers tracing the edge of her coffee cup. Then she asked, "Did you ever really love me?" Her question hit me like a wave. Out of all the things she could have said, I hadn't expected that. My mind went blank, and memories flooded back. The good times, the laughter, the nights we stayed up dreaming about the future. I remembered how much I had loved her, even when things were falling apart. But I also remembered the pain, the shouting, the loneliness of being in a marriage that had already ended long before the papers were signed. I looked at her and finally said, "Yes, I did. More than you'll ever know. But love wasn't enough to fix what was broken." Her eyes watered, and she nodded slowly. It was as if she had needed to hear it, even if it hurt. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The air felt heavy, yet peaceful. She admitted that she had spent the past year wondering if leaving me was a mistake. She had tried to move on too, but nothing felt right. Every relationship after me felt shallow, empty. I wanted to tell her that I had also thought about her, that I missed her laughter and the way she made ordinary days special. But I also knew that going back would mean reopening wounds that had barely healed. So I said quietly, "Sometimes love ends, not because it disappears, but because people change." She smiled sadly and agreed. We talked for a while longer, about forgiveness, about life, about what we'd learned. When we finally stood up to leave, she gave me a long, gentle hug. It wasn't romantic. It felt more like two souls saying goodbye properly this time. As I watched her walk away, I realized her question had given me the closure I didn't know I needed. I had loved her once, deeply, but that chapter of my life had truly ended. That night, I went home and deleted her number. Not out of anger, but peace. The past year had been about healing, and now I finally understood that some questions, no matter how painful, arrive only when we're ready for the truth. And her question, simple yet haunting, had reminded me of something powerful. Sometimes the hardest goodbyes are the ones that come long after you've already said goodbye.